Arkansas United's story of these last 10 years is not the story of an organization, but it's Arkansas's story. It's Arkansas's history.
Ever since arriving to Arkansas, it was definitely a challenge. Everything that I've known up to that point was pretty much stripped away from me. When I first started college, I found out that I could not become a teacher. I am going to be a teacher.
Es donde nos conocimos por primera vez y empezamos a conectar. En esa época no había una organización con un edificio, ¿verdad? Trabajábamos en campo, se le llama, afuera. Posteriormente fue de que ya Mireya empezó a trabajar para poder lograr estos espacios y así es como años más tarde nos conectamos con lo que es Arkansas Unido, que en aquel momento se llamaba la Coalición de Arkansas Unidos. Sí.
Years ago, I was able to talk about something that I had never shared, that as a family we didn't share. My mom passed away last year from brain cancer, and I feel like I can share her story now because she doesn't have to remember that she did not have a driver's license, that she was undocumented.
Our Arkansas Change Agents was our effort to educate the immigrant community about the power that each of them had, and in that education to activate them to take action in their communities. When we started building the organization in 2011, we did not want to reinvent the wheel. Our dreamers here in Arkansas had seen other immigrant rights organizations on Facebook and in TV doing rallies and marches and meeting with elected officials. But we did not have that collective lived experience in Arkansas. And so our Change Agents program was our leadership development pipeline, where we introduced to our immigrant leaders the opportunity to learn from other states, visit other states, see how that work resonated with them. So in a 5-year period, we trained and activated over 150 change agents who were predominantly first-generation immigrants directly impacted either by the Fight for the DREAM Act or DACA, or the Fight for Comprehensive Immigration Reform, in which we were able to persuade Senator Mark Pryor from Arkansas to support a path to citizenship.
Because I didn't know that there was a law in Arkansas that would prohibit me to continuing my education, and that's how I came across Arkansas United, and I thought that the organization was amazing. The vision and what they stood for was something that really stood out to me and that really would impact and benefit me and others who were in the same situation. Thankfully now, 2 years later, I can say that we passed DACA nurses, DACA teachers, and in-state tuition that would help all documented individuals who would want to pursue a higher education have that opportunity and not have any barriers in their way to continue their dreams and be able to live out what they want to be, who they want to be, and what they want to do here in the state of Arkansas, making Arkansas one of 4 most progressive states to have this legislation and allow documented individuals and students with work visas or work permits to be able to continue their education.
Arkansas is 50th in the country in attorneys per capita. It's harder to get an attorney in Arkansas than anywhere else in the country. And so that means we're coming into this work already with barriers in access to our legal system.
Ayudando hoy día, sino expandir todos nuestros servicios, los legales y todos los que sean necesarios.
We're not expecting handouts, not expecting someone to do something we're not willing to do for ourselves. We want to be part of the change that we want to see in Arkansas.
You know, without a doubt, I think Latinos need to try to become more and more involved with all levels of the community, not just at a political level, but also at the grassroots level. In order to have our voices heard, we need to be participants in this.
El impacto para aquí, nuestra comunidad, creo yo que fue muy grande. Hubo muchas ayudas y para muchos de ellos no podían alcanzar esa ayuda. Tuvieron que buscar organizaciones como las de nosotros para poder tener ayudas monetarias, porque siempre para ellos es como los últimos, son los olvidados.
So good policy starts with civic engagement, and that means for us, helping our immigrants become citizens, our citizens to become registered voters. Our registered voters need to be educated so they feel confident at the vote and know how they can elect the policymakers that are reflecting their interests.
Arkansas United and I share not only our values for elevating immigrant voices, but we also share a lot of the families and individuals who we work with. They've been an incredible partner, both in helping me be a good representative and be a good legislator.
Arkansas United is a very well recognized organization here in Arkansas because they fight for human rights for people that come to work in Arkansas.
What excited me about working with Arkansas United was the fact that they had all the information, all the contacts of people who were having issues with their immigrant status.
Also, we at Arkansas United continue to celebrate the importance of our immigrant resource centers, but we don't see them as offices. We see them as physical locations where we do our navigation.
Más fuerte, con más miembros activos, tenemos muchos miembros, pero quisiéramos más personas educadas en nuestros derechos, educadas en todas las posibilidades, más personas que crean en su potencial, más inmigrantes involucrados en Arkansas United y que ellos sean entrenados con toda la información.
And we are just beyond grateful for the opportunities, the spaces that they have provided so we could have meetings, the lobbying with us, sending emails to the representatives, and just standing behind the immigrant community. We are able to organize the community if there is an event. We've done back to school events, community forums, information forums, anything that goes on. We ask our committee members what they want to see changed, what we can do to help. We vote collectively on a platform that what they want to see changed.
Aspiramos, hay mucha necesidad de clases de ciudadanía, hay mucha necesidad de clases de literatura digital, de cómo utilizar una computadora, necesidad de cosas, de muchas clases en español, necesidad de cómo saber navegar el sistema educativo, de necesidad de poder expandir una red de recursos para mujeres que sufrieron violencia doméstica.
And thanks to funding from the Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation and an anonymous donor, we started the Workers' Justice Fund to give cash relief to immigrant workers who did not qualify for other aid.
Conectar a estas familias que teníamos una lista de espera ya que consiguieron todas nuestras organizadoras en la organización, valga la redundancia, y mi rol fue conectar a estas familias con los fondos.
I think the power of collaboration and working together is evident, and I think that's something as we go forward will only strengthen our community in the state of Arkansas.
Me gusta la lucha por la justicia social, empoderándome primeramente y empoderar a los demás que no tienen voz. Parte de este trabajo ha sido que hemos logrado muchos objetivos y esos objetivos están enfocados a que en este país todos tenemos derecho y debemos de luchar por una estabilidad de la mejor que se pueda dar, siempre amparado a las leyes.
Arkansas United had the resources to reach out to people who were suffering through this injustice and bring them to me and bring them to the House of Representatives, bring them to the committee. They told their stories and that bill passed and Governor Hutchinson signed it into law.
And as we learned through COVID, it's also important that we extend opportunity to navigate through our phones, through social media, through WhatsApp, through text messages, through all the unique ways that we know our immigrants communicate.
It may affect some groups more than others because of the lines of work that we do. And we know that, for example, the poultry industry, industries that have to do with face-to-face contact, have placed our populations at significant risk for infection and for adverse outcomes.
Yo estuve ayudando a la comunidad en ferias de salud donde llegaba la gente a vacunarse, les dábamos un poco de información.
Hispanic community is get the highest level of immunization coverage. So it is done and is due in part of Arkansas United work in the community.
10 years from now, the vision of Arkansas United, its mission, will belong to our members, our advisory board, to the board of our partners, but we look forward to our members making the decision about what their future looks like.
Arkansas United can be seen as a place of hope and safety. They work very, very hard to help out our communities and make the changes that we need in order to set the pathway for a better tomorrow.
Entonces, poco a poco el programa se ha ido transformando y ha ido creciendo, y para mí algo de lo que yo estoy muy orgullosa es de la confianza que se ha desarrollado de los clientes hacia nosotros, ¿verdad? Tanto al equipo legal como a todo el equipo de nuestra organización. Los clientes que atendemos a veces se vuelven amigos, entonces me gusta ver esa relación y esa dinámica de que una persona que atendimos se siente en la libertad de poder enviarme un mensaje de texto con alguna preocupación o alguna consulta que quieran hacer. Entonces estoy muy orgullosa de toda la confianza que hemos creado con la comunidad y de poder otra vez brindar un servicio legal a un bajo costo, algo que es tan necesario en la comunidad en estos días.
I see a lot of opportunity in the directions that Arkansas United's taking in servicing more of the community and really help strengthen the Hispanic community in Arkansas, specifically in western and northwest Arkansas.
I hope in the next 5-10 years, Arkansas United and Arkansas Department of Health will have a trained and very vibrant community health workers network throughout all the state.
Y si puedo decir algo más, no solo les ayudamos con servicios y con cosas tangibles, que gran parte de lo que hace Arkansas Unido es en advocacy, changing laws and in helping people in that way, because there are some laws that are not good for immigrants, and Arkansas United throughout these 10 years has been helping people change those laws, or the government change those laws and have them be more favorable for the community, the immigrants.
Recruiting and equipping candidates who are deeply connected to their communities, and to continue to engage with policymakers who are affecting change and are bringing forward proposals that impact communities all across the state. We will just continue to advance the mission for fairness and justice and equity for communities that we have been so honored and grateful to get to represent.
Y más que nada tenían que salir porque no había otra opción a trabajar. Eso creo que fue mucho el impacto que dejó a la comunidad de tener que trabajar, porque como dice Gaby, eran los trabajos esenciales que tenían que trabajar para que otra gente pudiera seguir sobreviviendo.
They recently started a 501c4, and they can raise funds and reach out to help support and help elect immigrant populations, not just immigrants, but people of color, people that are minorities.
Y que los papás se involucren más en la educación de sus hijos, que se preocupen más por la salud emocional de sus hijos, y eso es de lo que me puedo sentir muy orgullosa. De los padres de familia que forman parte de ALAS. De ellos me siento orgullosa, porque quieren hacer la diferencia, quieren involucrarse en la educación de sus hijos.
And if you haven't taken a moment to study the Arkansas United logo, please do so. And contained within an A, you will find a fire that represents the torch of Lady Liberty, a fire that represents the candle that we light in our vigils as we lift up our prayers and our hopes and dreams to greater powers. It is the fire of us as organizers, and that fire that cannot be quenched in regards of hoping for better for our state and for our country and for our families, and knowing that change is possible. Arkansas will continue to be able to count on Arkansas United as committed to all Arkansans and to doing the best we can to ensure the best history for as many Arkansans as possible.